So today we're going to be taking a deep dive into a section of this book by Dr. Soroush Dabbagh, In the Struggle of Suffering and Meaning.
Okay.
To try to understand, like, how did this literary giant, how did he wrestle with the meaning of life?
Yeah.
And what can we learn from his journey?
Well, what's really fascinating is that Tolstoy's existential crisis didn't hit him during a period of struggle or failure, you know, but at the very height of his success.
Oh, interesting.
He had achieved what many would consider the ultimate dream, acclaim, recognition, influence.
Right.
But it left him feeling really disillusioned.
So we're not just talking about a fleeting sense of what's next.
Exactly.
But a deep existential questioning of life's purpose.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what was missing for him amidst all that success?
Well, that's the core question that Dr. Dabbagh explores in his book.
Okay.
Tolstoy himself described this period as a loss of the will to live.
Wow.
A feeling like life had come to a standstill. He even questioned the point of his own achievements, saying, even if I become more famous than Gogol, Pushkin, Shakespeare, Moliere, all the writers in the world, so what?
That's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
It seems like those conventional markers of success, fame, achievement, recognition just completely failed to provide him with any sense of meaning.
They didn't cut it.
So how did he try to navigate this crisis? Did he just succumb to despair?
Tolstoy was a seeker.
Okay.
So he didn't passively accept this emptiness.
Right.
Initially, he turned to science, believing that a deeper understanding of the natural world would somehow illuminate the meaning of life. And so he immersed himself in mathematics and the sciences, searching for answers in the empirical realm.
Yeah, it's a logical approach, right?
Absolutely.
We often think if we can just break things down rationally, then the answers will reveal themselves.
For sure.
So did he find what he was looking for in the world of science?
Well, he discovered a lot about the mechanics of the universe, but ultimately science just failed to provide him with that answer to the fundamental why.
Right.
He realized that science could explain how things worked, but it couldn't answer those deeper questions about the purpose of human existence.
Yeah.
If anything, it left him with more questions than answers.
So science didn't quite satisfy his existential hunger.
No, it didn't.
Where did his search for meaning lead him next?
Well, from the world of science, Tolstoy then turned to philosophy.
Okay.
He delved into the works of great thinkers like Socrates, Schopenhauer, Solomon, Buddha, really exploring different schools of thought and grappling with their perspectives on the human condition.
It sounds like he was on a quest to understand not just the world around him, but also humanity's place within it.
Right, exactly.
Did any of these philosophical perspectives resonate with him?
Well, he found some solace in Socrates' idea that the pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong journey that culminates in death. It's like Socrates was suggesting that the search for meaning itself is the point.
Right.
Like a continuous exploration that gives shape and purpose to our lives.
That's a profound concept.
Yeah.
Finding meaning in the very act of seeking.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like Tolstoy wasn't entirely satisfied with purely philosophical answers either.
Yeah.
What else contributed to his evolving perspective?
Well, while he was immersed in these philosophical texts, Tolstoy observed something that challenged those purely nihilistic viewpoints.
Oh, interesting.
He noticed millions of people around him living seemingly meaningful lives, particularly those in the lower classes.
Okay.
They weren't consumed by existential dread.
Right.
They found purpose and joy in their everyday existence.
That's an interesting observation.
Yeah.
It suggests that meaning might not always be found in intellectual pursuits,
right,
but can also emerge from simple lived experiences.
Exactly.
What did Tolstoy make of this apparent contradiction?
Well, it made him realize that something was missing in his approach to the question of meaning.
Okay.
He began to think about the limitations of searching for meaning solely through the lens of the finite, the observable world.
Right.
He recognized the need to consider the infinite.
Okay.
Something that transcended our temporal existence.
So he was grappling with how our finite lives connect to something larger, a concept that both science and philosophy hadn't fully addressed.
Right.
Where did this realization lead him?
This is where Tolstoy's journey takes a really fascinating turn. He began to see religion as a potential bridge between the finite and the infinite. Mm-hmm. You know, he believed that religion, with its emphasis on faith, spirituality, and connection to a higher power, offered a framework for understanding our place in the cosmos and finding a meaning that endures even in the face of suffering and death.
So after exploring the realms of science and philosophy, Tolstoy started to consider religion as a possible source of the meaning he craved.
Yeah.
Did he embrace any particular faith?
Well, he began exploring Orthodox Christianity, the dominant religion in Russia at the time.
Okay.
However, he quickly became disillusioned by what he perceived as the superficial practices of the wealthy upper class.
Right.
He felt their faith lacked genuineness and didn't translate into a meaningful way of life.
So it sounds like he was searching for a faith that wasn't just about like outward rituals.
Yeah.
But genuinely impacted how people live their lives.
Exactly.
Did he find that kind of authentic faith anywhere?
Interestingly, it was in the faith of the common people, the peasants and working class, that Tolstoy found that genuine connection he was seeking. Mm. He was deeply moved by their simple, heartfelt faith, which provided them with a sense of meaning and acceptance, particularly in the face of hardship and death.
I find it fascinating that he found inspiration in the very people who were often marginalized and overlooked by society.
Yeah.
What was it about their faith that resonated so deeply with him?
Well, he observed how their faith was intricately woven into their daily lives. Yeah. You know, it wasn't just about attending church on Sundays.
Right.
It permeated their language, their traditions, their understanding of the world, their proverbs, stories, and songs passed down through generations.
Right.
Provided a sense of continuity and purpose that transcended their individual struggles.
So he was drawn to the lived experience of their faith.
Yeah.
The way it provided them with a framework for understanding their place in the world and connecting to something larger than themselves.
Exactly.
It seems like Tolstoy's journey took him from the heights of intellectual achievement to the depths of existential despair, and ultimately to finding solace in this simple lived faith of the common people.
Yeah.
But did this religious awakening fully resolve his crisis?
Well, this is where Dr. Dabbagh highlights a pivotal moment in Tolstoy's journey.
Okay.
A moment that truly pulled him back from the brink of nihilism and even potential suicide.
Okay, this is where it gets really powerful.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, Tolstoy described his renewed sense of purpose and direction as rowing towards the shore of God using the oar of freedom. Mm-hmm. This beautiful metaphor captures the transformative power of finding faith. Yeah. But as you'll see, Dr. Dabbagh doesn't end his exploration there.
It sounds like Tolstoy found the meaning that he had been so desperately searching for.
Yeah.
But you're suggesting there's more to the story.
Yeah.
What other insights does Dr. Dabbagh offer? So Tolstoy's experience was like incredibly personal and profound.
Yeah.
But his journey makes you wonder, is finding meaning through religious faith like the only path to a fulfilling life?
Yeah.
I mean, after all, not everyone subscribes to a religious belief system.
That's a really crucial question.
Right.
And Dr. Dabbagh doesn't shy away from exploring that in his book. Sure. He suggests that what he calls personal worldly meaning is also possible. Okay. So in other words, we don't necessarily need a divine framework to find meaning and purpose. Okay. Instead, we can create meaning.
Yeah.
Through our actions, our relationships, the stories we tell ourselves about our lives.
So even without a traditional like religious belief system, someone can still live a life filled with meaning and purpose.
Absolutely.
But how does that work in practice? Where does this meaning come from?
Well, Dr. Dabbagh draws on the work of Emily Esfahani Smith, who outlines 4 pillars of meaning: belonging, purpose, storytelling, and transcendence.
Okay.
And he argues that these pillars can be cultivated regardless of one's religious beliefs.
Okay, let's break those down a little bit. Yep. What exactly does she mean by belonging?
Well, belonging is about feeling connected to others, being a part of a community where you feel accepted and valued for who you are.
Right.
And this sense of belonging can come from, family, friendships, even being an active member of a group or organization that aligns with your values.
Makes sense. That feeling connected to others would contribute to a sense of meaning.
Yeah.
What about purpose? That seems like a more individualistic concept.
Yeah, purpose is about having goals and a sense of direction in life. It's that feeling of striving towards something that motivates you.
Right.
Gives you a reason to get out of bed each morning.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be something grandiose.
Right.
It could be as simple as wanting to master a skill, contribute to your community,
right,
or be a loving and supportive presence for those you care about.
I can see how having a clear sense of purpose would bring meaning to one's life.
Yeah.
What about storytelling?
Okay.
That one seems a little bit less obvious to me.
Well, storytelling is about the narratives we create about our lives.
Okay.
It's the way we make sense of our experiences, both positive and negative, and integrate them into a coherent whole.
Right.
It's about recognizing patterns, identifying turning points, understanding how our past has shaped who we are today.
So it's about finding meaning in the narrative arc of our own lives.
Exactly.
Making sense of our experiences and crafting a story that feels authentic.
And meaningful to us.
Exactly.
Okay, and then finally there's transcendence.
Yes.
What is that?
This one is about connecting to something larger than ourselves.
Okay.
And for some, this might involve religious faith, spirituality, but it can also manifest through experiences in nature, art, music, or acts of service and kindness.
So even without adhering to a specific religion, someone can still experience transcendence by tapping into those other realms of experience.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how these pillars seem to resonate with aspects of Tolstoy's own journey.
Yeah.
Even though he ultimately found meaning through religious faith.
That's right. Yeah.
He was deeply drawn to the stories and traditions of the common people. Their faith provided them with a strong sense of belonging, purpose, and even transcendence. Their shared narrative, passed down through generations, created a powerful sense of community and continuity.
Yeah. It's like Tolstoy recognized those very pillars within their faith community.
Yeah.
Even though he might not have articulated it in those terms.
Right.
Their faith wasn't just about abstract beliefs, but about how those beliefs manifested in their relationships, their daily lives, their sense of place in the world.
Exactly.
It's important to note that Tolstoy wasn't advocating for blind faith or rejecting reason.
Right.
He still valued intellectual exploration and critical thinking.
Yeah.
His journey was about grappling with the big questions.
Absolutely.
Exploring different perspectives and ultimately arriving at what felt authentic and meaningful to him.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like he approached the question of meaning with an open mind.
Yeah.
And a willingness to challenge his own assumptions, which is something we can all learn from, regardless of our personal beliefs.
For sure.
But it raises an important question.
Yeah.
How do we approach this search for meaning in a world that's so saturated with information and diverse perspectives?
Yeah.
It can feel overwhelming.
It can.
Even paralyzing at times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I think Tolstoy's approach offers some valuable insights.
Okay.
He didn't shy away from those challenging questions or dismiss any path to meaning outright,
Okay.
He was willing to explore different avenues, even those that initially seemed contradictory.
So it's about being open to diverse perspectives.
Yeah.
While simultaneously evaluating them critically.
Right.
It's not about blindly accepting everything.
Right.
But also not rejecting everything out of hand.
Yeah.
It's about engaging in the process of seeking and discerning.
Exactly.
And we need to acknowledge that the search for meaning isn't a destination that we arrive at once and for all. It's an ongoing
process,
a journey that evolves as we do.
For sure.
So it's not about finding one right answer,
right?
But rather about continually engaging with the question,
yeah,
being open to new insights, and allowing our understanding of meaning to deepen and evolve over time.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And this is where I think the idea of personal worldly meaning becomes particularly relevant.
Okay.
Even if we do find solace in a specific belief system, you know, the way we express and experience meaning will likely shift as we navigate different life stages and challenges.
It reminds me of that quote often attributed to Heraclitus: "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man."
Oh, I love that. Yeah. It perfectly captures that fluidity of experience and the dynamic nature of the search for meaning.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive into Tolstoy's journey, what stands out to you as the most significant takeaway so far?
For me, it's the realization that the search for meaning doesn't have to be a solitary pursuit.
Okay.
Even though Tolstoy wrestled with these questions internally, he ultimately found answers through connection with others.
Right.
You know, through observing how their shared faith provided them with that sense of belonging, purpose, and transcendence.
It's a powerful reminder that meaning often emerges from our relationships, our shared experiences, and our engagement with the world around us.
Exactly, and it underscores the idea that even though each person's path to meaning is unique, we can learn from and support one another along the way.
It's like we're all in this journey together, each with our own stories to tell and wisdom to share.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And perhaps by embracing that sense of shared humanity and engaging in open and honest dialogue, we can create a world where meaning isn't something we search for in vain, but something we cultivate together collectively.
That's a beautiful idea.
Yeah.
It brings to mind that African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone.
Oh yeah.
If you want to go far, go together.
I love that.
Yeah.
It speaks to the power of community and collaboration in our collective search for meaning.
So as we transition into the final part of our deep dive, I invite you to consider what has resonated most with you from Tolstoy's story and Dr. Dabbagh's insights. What aspects of belonging, purpose, storytelling, and transcendence speak to you most deeply? And
how might you cultivate these pillars in your own life to create a sense of meaning that feels both authentic and enduring?
Yeah.
You know, it's striking how Tolstoy's journey resonates with so much of what we've explored on previous deep dives.
Right.
His emphasis on finding meaning by connecting to something larger than himself.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the concept of awe.
Okay.
That feeling of wonder and smallness that we experience when we're faced with something vast and incomprehensible.
It's a powerful connection.
Yeah.
You know, those moments of awe, whether they're inspired by a starry night sky or a towering redwood forest or even a profound work of art. Can be incredibly transformative.
Right.
They shift our perspective and remind us that we are part of something much grander than our individual lives.
I think those experiences can be especially grounding.
Yeah.
When we're feeling lost or overwhelmed by like the day-to-day challenges of life.
For sure.
They offer a sense of perspective.
Yeah.
And remind us that our worries and anxieties are often quite small.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like Tolstoy's metaphor of rowing toward the shore of God. That sense of direction.
Yeah.
Of being connected to something beyond ourselves.
Right.
Can provide the strength and resilience.
Yeah.
To navigate even the roughest waters.
And it's not just anecdotal. There's a growing body of research in positive psychology that supports this idea.
Yeah, that's right. Studies have shown that that people who feel a sense of purpose and connection to something larger than themselves tend to report higher levels of well-being, resilience, and overall life satisfaction.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're better equipped to cope with stress, find meaning in adversity, and experience a greater sense of gratitude for the good things in their lives.
So it seems like having that framework for understanding your place in the world provides a sense of grounding and stability that can be incredibly beneficial for navigating the ups and downs of life.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that this sense of connection can take many forms.
Right.
For some, it might be through, religious faith or spirituality. For others, it might be through a deep connection to nature.
Right.
A commitment to social justice.
Yeah.
Or even an all-consuming passion for their work or creative pursuit.
So it's less about the specific form that that connection takes,
right,
and more about the feeling itself.
Yeah.
That sense of being a part of something larger, something meaningful and enduring.
Exactly. It's about finding what resonates with you, what sparks that feeling of awe and wonder,
right,
and allowing that to guide you on your own unique journey of meaning making.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Tolstoy's Search for Meaning and Dr. Dabb's insightful analysis.
Right.
What final thoughts would you like to leave our listener with?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is that meaning is not something that's simply handed to us. Right. It's something we actively cultivate through our choices, our relationships, our engagement with the world around us. It's about being intentional, being curious, and being open to new experiences that nourish our souls and connect us to something bigger than ourselves.
And even though there are many paths to meaning, both divine and personal, as Dr. Dabbagh points out, the journey itself is often more valuable than the destination.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the questions, staying curious, and continually seeking out experiences that inspire awe, wonder, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
So as you go about your day today, we invite you to consider this. What small steps can you take today to cultivate a greater sense of meaning in your own life?
Perhaps it's reaching out to a loved one, engaging in a creative activity, spending time in nature, or committing to a cause you believe in.
Remember, even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect.
That's right.
Creating a more meaningful and fulfilling life, not just for yourself, but for those around you as well.
Absolutely.
This has been the deep dive.
Okay.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring the complexities of meaning with us today.